In this video, we're going to compare 3 versions of the LA2A compressor. If you've been recording, producing, mixing for half a second, you will be familiar or at least have come across the LA2A. And if not, then you need to get acquainted with it. It's one of the best compressors in the world, and for one very, very good reason. 9 times out of 10, everything that you put through the LA2A ends up sounding bigger, grander, and just better. It's super versatile. It sounds great on vocals, bass guitar, acoustic guitar, pianos, virtually anything. It's buttery smooth in terms of its compression. It's quite slow acting, so it's the opposite of an 1176 in that respect. And quite often they can work very well together. I'll often put an LA2A and 1176 in series. But in this video, we're using the LA2A on the lead vocal, and we're going to compare 3 different versions. So the first one that we're going to compare is the hardware unit that I've got behind me. This, unfortunately, isn't an original unit from the 60s or the 70s. Those will set you back tens of thousands of dollars, and that's even if you can get your hands on one on the secondhand market. However, this is a very, very good, very faithful clone produced by Drip Electronics. It's made with really high quality components. The circuit is faithful to that original one. It's pretty much as close as you can get to that original unit without actually buying an original unit. The next one that we're going to compare it to is the UAD version, which we've got set up here. And then the third one that we're going to compare is the Slate Digital version, which is on this third track down here. Now, I've done my best to get these matched as closely as possible in terms of the gain reduction and also the output gain as well. So it should be a very, very close, very good comparison and highlight any differences between the 3 models. Now, before we get started, one thing that's worth considering with all of these tests is that almost every single LA2A unit is going to sound different, even more so the older the units are. And the reason for that is because hardware ages differently. There's also repair and maintenance to consider. If any units have had repairs or services to them, that can affect the sound if they've had components changed. And also, as these are opto compressors, they have an optical cell inside, the T4B cell. The brand and the age of that cell can also affect the sound and the compression action. So the UAD plugin will have been modeled on a specific LA2A unit. Obviously, it's not this one that I've got right here. And the same with the Slate Digital. That will have been modeled on a different unit, whichever the ones that the team at Slate decided to do. So although they will sound similar, they're all LA2As. It's normal if we hear some differences. We're expecting that almost because they're all modeled off different units. Okay, we're going to start with the hardware. The most important thing is how these units sound in the mix. I will solo a small part of the vocal afterwards just so that you can hear any slight differences between them a little bit more clearly. But the most important thing is how they sound in the mix. So that's where we're going to start. So this is the hardware unit.
I'm here chasing you, and I don't know why. If I call, would you pick up the phone if I fall? And would you catch me? The stars in your eyes, they light up the sky. We're falling together like a meteorite.
Okay, let's take a listen to some of that on its own.
If I call, would you pick up the phone if I fall? And would you catch me? The stars in your eyes, they light up the sky. We're falling together like a meteorite.
Okay, let's jump in and take a listen to the UAD version. Same stretch of vocal.
I'm here chasing you, and I don't know why. No. If I call, would you pick up the phone if I fall? And would you catch me? The stars in your eyes, they light up the sky. We're falling together like a meteorite.
Okay, let's take a listen to a small section of that on its own.
If I call, Would you pick up the phone if I fall? And would you catch me? Yeah, the stars in your eyes, they light up the sky. We're falling together like meteorites.
Okay, on to the third version now, which is the Slate Digital. Let's take a listen to how this one sounds.
I'm here chasing you, and I don't know why. No, if I call, would you pick up the phone if I fall? And would you catch me? Yeah, the stars in your eyes, they light up the sky. We're falling together like meteorites.
Okay, now a section of that in solo.
If I call, would you pick up the phone if I fall? And would you catch me? Yeah, the stars in your eyes, they light up the sky. We're falling together like meteorites.
Okay, so now we've heard all three versions of that LA2A. I'd love to know what you think. So drop a comment. Let me know if one of those stood out to you or if you think it's too close to call. I have to be honest here. I think all three of those vocals sound so insanely close. I'm 100% certain that I could not pick those apart in a blind test. It's just not going to happen. Really kind of analysing it, I think my hardware is probably closest to the Slate Digital version. The UAD version sounds amazing though. I think if anything, the UAD version is ever so slightly warmer and it has maybe a little bit more thickness in the low mids. That's the only difference I can tell, but we're talking like minute scales here. But I think the hardware and the Slate version are pretty much indistinguishable. It's so close, it's crazy. Certainly, whichever one of these you use, it's going to sound great. It's going to do the exact job that you want from an LA2A. And it's pretty clear that the most important thing here is writing a great song, getting a great vocal take, making sure the production and the arrangement are solid. Which LA2A plugin or hardware you use is not going to make or break things. Now, if you are a songwriter, then I've got something that you're going to want to check out. Chances are, like most songwriters, you don't struggle for inspiration. In fact, probably quite the opposite. You've got a million ideas all floating around your head or hummed into the voice notes app of your phone. Well, the only problem with this is by saving all your song ideas hummed into various apps across your phone, this is a guaranteed way to lose or forget potentially amazing songs. As you put more ideas in, the old ones just get pushed further and further down the list, potentially forgotten forever. Or even worse, you change your phones, you get a new handset, and everything's deleted. You've lost absolutely everything. This is a potential disaster as a songwriter. Well, I've come up with a solution to that problem, and I've created the Songwriters Project Organizer. With this project organizer, you can keep every single one of your song ideas in one place, and you can access them anytime, anywhere, no matter what device you're on. There's a really intuitive app that works on iOS or Android, and you can also access it online on a laptop, for example, and you can track the progress of every single song idea. Within the Songwriters Project Organizer, you can create different lists, and you can have your ideas in different lists depending on what stage of the process they are at. So maybe it's just a simple hook idea that you've got. That can be in one list. Now maybe you've fleshed that hook out and you've got a skeleton song arrangement, and you can move that to a new list. Now maybe you've created a demo for it, you can move it on. So you can see every single song idea right in front of you, and you can even keep track of the progress. So you are never ever going to lose or forget a great song idea again. The other huge benefit of the Songwriters Project Organizer is that you can securely share this with anybody that you like. This makes collaboration an absolute breeze. So maybe you're working with a producer, a mix engineer, or maybe you're collaborating with other artists. You can share your project organizer with them, and then you can just watch your project blossom as everyone adds their own contributions, and you can see where everything is at, and so can they as well. You can even attach notes, web links, and attach files as well, so that absolutely everything is accessible to anybody who needs it. So if you like what I'm talking about here, there is a link in the description below for you to access the Songwriters Project Organizer. It is completely free. Everything will be in one place. The app is super intuitive, and it's just going to make the whole process of writing songs and following through on the process way more fun and with a lot less headaches. So click the link, grab your free Songwriters Project Organizer now.